said something along the lines of, I'm probably misquoting slightly here, but he basically said, if you go back and look at the regenerations, you've missed something.
Right.
Are you familiar with this?
I have no idea what he's talking about, unless he's referring to all the different ways the Doctor regenerates, in a sense that there was one which was Tom Baker to Peter Davison, where there was the Seer or the Watcher or something that then goes into his body and then he turns into Peter Davison, which I thought was just, what happened there? Mm-hmm. So unless he's talking about that, but I think what a lot of people are getting from it is that he's talking about the fact that we never saw Paul McGann regenerate.
All right, okay.
So I don't know. I think that's just another case of him lying through his teeth, and the fact that Peter Capaldi will in fact be the 12th Doctor. John Hurt will probably be a ridiculously aged version of Paul McGann or something like that, because he's not going to be a Doctor. He's going to be Doctor 8.5, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. So Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor dies, a 13th Doctor comes along. At some point, the magical crystal of sandwiches, or whatever it is, the massive MacGuffiner of MacGuffinson will happen, something will happen, and he'll get a brand new regeneration cycle, because it's happened before. I mean, if you look at the Master, he's used up his regenerations I don't know how many times now.
Right, okay.
Possibly twice. And he just keeps getting whole new sets. Time Lords grant them whole new sets. And then there's the theory on top of that the whole 12 regenerations, 13 lives cycle was imposed by the Time Lords in the first place. So technically now, with no Time Lord society, nothing left, and just the Doctor, he could potentially have infinite number of regenerations.
Right, okay. It's interesting because any Doctor Who fans... Stuart, you're a bit of a Doctor Who fan as well.
Yep.
Any Doctor Who fans, and Ruth, you're a Doctor Who fan as well, right? Yeah, because we talked about this at the start of the show. Any fans that I've talked to about this have all said what you said, that... Stephen Moffat lies.
Yeah, it's just nonsense, really.
And it's just deception, smoke and mirrors, all that kind of thing. That he's just he's just basically trying to lead people on in no particular direction.
Do you think because before his major issue was the fact that he talked such a good game that he could never deliver? So now do you think he's just lying through his teeth to get people as far away from what's really going on as possible? So whenever it does come along, it will be such a surprise. Well, what he thinks will be such a surprise.
I didn't really think about it that much. I just thought he was just lighting the fans up.
With Series 6, he talked such a good game with that series and said, oh, you're never going to guess who River Song is. Yeah, we did guess. Yeah. Actually, we guessed that actually ages ago.
Yeah.
Stephen, where have you been, mate?
Aye.
You know? So I think now he's just basically going, do you know what? I'm just going to lie straight through my teeth. I'm going to tell them, I'm going to make up stuff and tell them everything. I mean, didn't it not come out recently that they actually filmed made-up scenes for the 50th anniversary?
Okay, I haven't heard that.
I think they did that.
Okay.
It could have been, I'm kind of crossing my wires here, but I think they actually filmed a load of nonsense, really, just to put the fans off for the 50th anniversary. So, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, he's probably talking rubbish.
All right, Stuart, sorry about that. Just when Doctor Who is on your mind, we had to talk about it. You are, of course, on, as always, to give us the countdown of the UK box office.
I am indeed.
And what has been happening? You can really hear your voices off, Stuart. Are you all right, son?
Oh, yeah, yesterday it was even worse. You should have heard me when I did my show on Monday. To be honest, I was growling through the entirety of it, so... Yeah, this week's UK box office top 10. Last week I said it was down 51% year in, year out from the year previously. This week it's down 13% from last week's. So it's the worst takings of the UK box office top 10 since, I think it was the middle of 2012, because no film has decided to challenge it. One of last week's new entries, Machete Kills, didn't even make it in the top 10. I think it went in at number 13. And it actually deserved that, because I went to see it. I reviewed it on Monday, and I went to see it. It's rubbish. It's a rubbish film. I was in the cinema on my own.
Right.
And that is a really rare thing. So I was in a 450-seated screening, and I was in on my own.
Right, yes. I have to be honest, I didn't see the first Machete, but the second one... You know, when you see Sophie Vergara running around with machine guns
on her bra,
basically, you got to think, right, there's not a lot of integrity in this movie. Like.
Trust me, it gets worse than that, because she has a gun in another place as well. If you think From Dusk Till Dawn, that's exactly where the gun is.
All right, okay.
That's fairly off-putting.
It's what Robert Rodriguez likes to do, though. He likes to make nods to his previous films that he's done, so he does that with Machete Kills. And when you describe it to somebody, it sounds like a fun film, but Honestly, it's not. It's like being hit over the head constantly with a shovel.
See, I'm just seeing Sophie.
That's my Friday night.
I'm seeing Sofia Vergara's body now with Tom Savini's head on it. I'm slightly stressed out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. So Machete Kills. I can see. Yeah. See, it hasn't even made it into the top 10. And so, what's going on? Why is the box office so bad, Stuart? What do you think's happening? Is it just because of the movies?
Yeah, it is down to the movies. It's not down to the quality of the films, because there has been some really good films released over the last month. It's just there isn't any high-profile ones. Yeah, if you look at movies like Prisoners, etc., they've got high-profile actors in it, but it's not the kind of movie that makes people go, oh, I really need to go out and see that. It's only from this week onwards that we're starting to get movies where people will actually go and see, because you've got like the first proper, decent animated film in the UK box office for quite a few weeks, because I wouldn't have classified Justin and the Knights of Valor as a decent animated film. So it's just down to the quality of the movies that are out there, quality of the movies that will get people into the cinema, not how brilliant they are.
Right. Okay, well, we'll talk a wee bit about what's coming up next week. And I know you've got a review of a movie this week. You've got two reviews.
Yes.
And I have you seen Turbo? Is Turbo one of your reviews?
No, one review. I think Ruth has seen it, actually, so it'll be interesting to get her thoughts on it.
What's that?
Curse of Chucky?
Oh, no, actually.
Have you not seen
I
Curse
thought
of Chucky?
you had seen it. I thought I saw something on Facebook that you reviewed it or something.
No.
No? Okay.
Weird.
Right, alright, so we'll talk about that. I've seen Turbo, and then you have another one as well. Have you seen Escape Plan?
I haven't, because it's not press screened.
Oh, that's never a good thing.
That's the death sign right there, isn't it?
That's never a good thing. But anyway, right, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Without further ado, unless you have something else you want to talk about before we get into it?
Nope, not this week.
Okay.
At number 10, taking £189,586 this week and £4,175,310 overall, it's White House Down.
See, this is the movie that would have been perfect if it was released in the last couple of weeks, because it would have been number one for a few weeks, and it would have probably taken more than the 4 million it has taken. It's just, as I've said on the previous two shows, it was released at the most stupidest time.
Okay.
At number 9, taking £191,556 this week and £2,695,856 overall, hits Justin and The Knights of Valor.
A bit of a tepid animated film for kids. This week, as you've seen Turbo, so we'll leave the thoughts of what you thought of that to a little bit later on. But yeah, it's just you would have expected a better animated film. This one felt like it should be released on DVD or Blu-ray, not to the cinema.
Okay.
At number 8, taking £279,339 this week and £2,385,186 overall, it's Runner.
Ben Affleck and Justin Timberlake saying that they can act, and by the looks of things, they can't. In this kind of film, anyway. It doesn't bode well for Affleck in the Superman-Batman film, but you've just got to throw away the movie roles that he does like this and just give him a chance.
At number 7, it's a new entry, taking £324,888, Le Weekend.
Yeah, you made a mistake on the box office top 10 post that you put up on Following the Nerd, and you said this is James Gandolfini's last film. He's not in this movie. His last film was called Enough Said, and that's out this week.
Yeah.
Le Weekend is a comedy drama that's got Jeff Goldblum, Jim Broadbent, and Lindsay Duncan in it, and it's about a couple who go over to Paris to try and get their relationship back on track, and they run into a character played by Jeff Goldblum, who plays himself practically.
Stuart, don't tell anybody, but when you notice stuff like that, don't tell me on live or tell me before.
Well, I have.
Tell me before.
Nope.
Yeah, everybody gets one.
4, 5, 4, 6, 4, 7.
Ruth?
Sorry, I didn't say a word.
At number 6, it's our. You really put me off here. At number 6, it's our second new entry of the week, taking £502,495. It's The Fifth Estate.
Yeah, Andy reviewed this and he thought it was okay. It's directed by Bill Condon, who did the last two Twilight films. and it's got Benedict Cumberbatch, and it's based on the WikiLeaks, so he plays Julius Assange, and it's there was a documentary which was released a couple of weeks ago, which was based on Julius Assange and WikiLeaks, and it actually showed Julius Assange properly. In this film, it does know what it wants to do, whether to actually show him as a bad guy and what he's actually doing with all the information that he's putting out there, or is he a good person who is actually showing the public that, look at what the government is actually doing. So it doesn't know what it wants to do, and at times it treads between both lines, and it feels as a film in that instance. Daniel Brühl is in the film as well, and he's in a film a little bit later on in the top 10, actually the next film up, and he's much better in that film there. So it's two really good actors in a film that's really mediocre.
Okay.
At number 5, taking £531,945 this week and £8,892,873 overall, it's Rush.
This is done brilliant for itself, and it deserves it. Fantastic acting. This is the film with Daniel Brühl in it, and I think he'll be nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars next year because of his role in this movie. And Chris Hemsworth is fantastic in it as well.
And he's hot.
Well, one of us had to say it, Ruth, and I'm glad it was you.
Flamboyant. Moving on.
At number 4, taking 6,000... What is wrong with me tonight? At number 4, taking £638,856 this week and £2,532,897 overall, it's Filth.
Lives up to its name, lives up to its certificate that it got, which is near to him. James McAvoy is absolutely brilliant in it. A lot of people have been walking out, which I don't know why. Because, like I said last week, if you go into the cinema to see a film called Filth, you know what you're going to expect.
At number 3, taking £642,241 this week and £3,333,633 overall, it's Blue Jasmine.
I'm not a Woody Allen fan, but this movie intrigues me slightly because it's got Cate Blanchett in it, and sometimes when you see a film that's got an actor or an actress in it by a director you're not that much of a fan of, you're still interested to see it because you're more drawn towards the people who's in the movie. And I love Cate Blanchett. I think she's a fantastic actress, and this is supposedly her best role she's ever done, so it's intriguing me.
Hang on, you're not a Woody Allen fan?
Nope. I just don't like Woody Allen the way he directs. It's very loose.
You're the first bloke. Are you a Woody Allen fan?
I'm not a fan.
Okay,
I mean, I
you're
like
on the fence.
I like his work.
Yeah,
but I'm not like, oh my God, Woody Allen. Wait.
Wow, Ruth, Woody Allen.
It's the same as Saxon.
As a rule, don't get Woody Allen. I have yet to meet a female movie fan that has really said Woody Allen rocks. But you two are the first two guys that I've spoken to I consider movie fans that. You know, I love Woody Allen.
No, what I've seen of Woody Allen, I've really, really liked, but I'm just not like, that's one of my favourite films of all time.
Right. Right. Stuart, you disappoint me.
Yeah, it's normal.
At number 2, taking £732,296 this week and £2,165,216 overall, it's Sunshine on Leith.
A musical directed by Dexter Fletcher that features the songs from the Proclaimers. It seems like a bad combination, but honestly it isn't. It is a fantastic film, brilliantly acted. The songs are well put together and well implemented in the story of the film. I loved it. It just made me smile and nearly made me cry as well.
Man tears, eh?
Yeah, there's a song that Jane Horrocks sings, and I think she's got a fantastic voice. She was in Little Voice, and that's how she proves that she could sing. And she sings this song, which I'm not going to give away the scene where she sings it, but there's such power behind the song that she sings, and it nearly brought me to tears.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, that's Ruth's review. Taking £968,990 this week and £5,035,660 overall, it's this week's number 1. It's Prisoners.
3 weeks at number 1, actually, which is surprising. It shows you that there hasn't been very many films to try and go up against it. It's not going to be number 1 next week at all. You can guarantee that. It'll probably be number 4 next week because the 3 big films out on Friday are going to be number 1, 2 and 3. In what order, I don't know, but And well done to Prisoners for doing that, because it is a really good film. A tiny bit long, and you can predict what happens about halfway through it, but it's still a really enjoyable, well-acted film.
Okay, fair enough. Right, okay, Stuart, now the big reviews for the week. You've got 2 big reviews this week.
Yeah, I wouldn't actually say they're big reviews, because one film came out on Monday,
Okay.
weirdly,